About 7 years ago, this homeowner called me, and I have known him for many, many years. I grew up in his neighborhood, and he asked me to come over, and he was very, very clear that he was not moving yet. But he really was taking me up on my offer of coming over and talking to him about what he needed to do in his home to make him a profitable homeowner. Now, the home was a little older, and it was on a very busy road, and it really didn't have much of a backyard. It had more of a side yard, but the house was classic cute. It was in a fantastic location. And so he knew he had something there, but there were some limitations in the home. In addition, the home was dated. The kitchen was not new, the bathrooms were not new, but it was in fantastic condition. This is a home that I would call unpolished potential. I want to make sure that if you haven't watched my videos about my 5 categories of homes, that you really go and do look at the one that talks about what are the categories of the homes. And this one was unpolished potential. And what that really means is all the mechanicals were in great shape. The home was in really, really good condition, but it was dated. Now, these are my favorite types of homes to sell because people love them. Buyers love to see the potential that they can have in their own home. They don't necessarily like when you've chosen updates for them. They don't necessarily like when you've painted wood that they don't want painted. Now, I talk about painting wood a lot, but in this type of a home, in this vintage home, I really want to talk more about making it unpolished potential. And that means updating what you need, what you want, and making it work for a buyer. So this home was classic unpolished potential. So when the seller brought me in, his kitchen was really about 30 years old and his master bathroom was really old as well. The house, like I said, was in fantastic condition with hardwood floors. However, the kitchen and the bathrooms would be a reason that somebody would not buy the house. There was really not much of a chance that a young buyer was going to move in like that because it was just really, really outdated. The appliances were old. The bathrooms were old. They really just weren't functional. So when I was talking to them, I asked the wife and I said, well, do you want a new kitchen? And she said, I'd love a new kitchen. And he said, well, but we don't want to update our kitchen if we move because we're just paying for somebody else and we don't know what they like. And I said, yeah, but you're going to be here like more than 5 years from now. Don't you want a nice kitchen? And she was like, I do. I would love a new kitchen. And I said, if you redo your kitchen, you're going to love it. In addition, it will help your home sell quicker and for more money. I cannot guarantee that you're going to get every dollar back that you put into it, but if you want a new kitchen, put in a new kitchen because they're far enough out, because they had time to enjoy it. And she was thrilled and he put in a new kitchen. So even this home was more of a vintage style. They did go with some simple white cabinets and countertops that they found. They had great hardwood floors. So it did sort of match this kind of, I would call it like a transitional style. It didn't look modern, but it did fit in with the rest of the house. Now, the rest of the house had a lot of stuff in it. And if you look at these pictures, you're going to say, oh my gosh, Katie, you tell us to paint the house. You tell us to get rid of all of our stuff. And clearly this house did not get rid of all their stuff. And the reason is because these people lived in this home for like 50 years. They had a ton of stuff. In order for them to get rid of all the stuff in their house, to paint all the walls, to pull up all of the rugs, it was going to take an immense amount of work. And I always talk about the stress versus money. I always want to make sure, is it worth the money to you? Could you get maybe a little bit more out of it when you go to sell the home? You might be able to, but what is that stress of putting everything away, of taking everything down, of painting all the walls? And they wouldn't do it. They couldn't do it. It was going to be too stressful for them. So I said, it's fine. Your house is great. We're going to price it in a place that it should be priced at. You have a new kitchen. You have a new bathroom. People are going to be able to see that there are hardwood floors here. They're going to see the condition. They're going to see the new laundry room that you put in. They're going to realize that this is a home filled with love and it had great energy. Do not discount homes that have great energy. And everybody who watches this channel, gosh, I know sometimes I really must stress people out because they think they have to do everything in their home. But in this home, they didn't. They did not do everything. They did it over time for what worked for them. They replaced the runner carpeting up the stairs. They replaced the carpet in the master bedroom and they turned it into hardwood. They replaced the bathroom, but they did this over course of years and they enjoyed it while they were living there. So when they were ready to sell, I knew we didn't have to really get everything out. We didn't have to stage it. A couple of the things I did have them do, they did have a very large table in their dining room. And I said, we need to make it a smaller table. Can you put a smaller table in here just so it looks like it's a little bigger? Can you take some things out of the living room to make it look a little bigger? But to remove the rug in the living room, they would have had to remove the piano that was in the living room. How difficult was that going to be? She had a great craft room. In order to remove that stuff, it was going going to be so stressful. So that's what I want you to understand is even though I'm talking about ideal and what you should do, it doesn't mean you have to do it. There are ways around it. And that's when you go ahead and you get somebody to come in and help you understand what do you need to do and what you don't need to do. Now, I know you want to know how much did this house sell for? And I will tell you is that I listed it $150,000 more than the other agent who came in to give them a price. And that's because I understood exactly what buyers were looking for. And I understood how much work that they had put into the house on the internal structure. How were the mechanicals? What was the attention to detail that he had in maintenance over time of the house? And so the other agent came in and didn't quite know the area as well as I did. And I said, you know what? I think we can sell for $150,000 more. And he said, go for it. And you know what? We did. We sold at list price. So I don't want you to discount understanding the strategy that you need in order to put your house on the market. This is not just put it out there and people will come. I want you to really think about the updates you need to make, your mechanicals and all of the condition that they are in. So the story I just told really goes to a seller that was smart and understood all of the education that they need to undertake before they listed their home. They knew they wouldn't be ready right then, but they got my guidance. They asked for my help and I came in and really worked through it with them. The rest of this video is going to talk to you about those low cost updates you need to be doing. In addition, it's going to tell you the high cost updates that will get you the highest return. And by the end of this video, I really think you will know what you need to do to become a profitable homeowner. First of all, I want you to understand that there are three things that are going to affect the value of your home and the equity that you have in your home. One of those things you cannot control. The two things that you can control is you can control your updates and you can control the maintenance that you do on the home. The one thing you cannot control is the market fluctuation. That's really important here because when you're looking 5 to 10 years out, you don't know what that market's going to be. So you need to be thinking you may not get every single dollar out when you do go to sell if the market goes down. However, it will help your home sell faster and probably at the highest point in the market. If you have followed me, you know what I'm going to talk about here. What is the biggest issue? What takes away the most value in your home is deferred maintenance. Now, this is also the most boring thing there is. Like deferred maintenance. What do I mean by maintenance? Deferred maintenance are things like mechanicals, your roof, your HVAC, your windows, general maintenance ongoing, pest control, gutters, siding, peeling paint, things like that. That's what I consider to be deferred maintenance. Really boring stuff. But if you have deferred maintenance, this is the kiss of death. I mean, buyers really want to go into a house where it has a really good base. And if your maintenance is strong and they know, gosh, all I have to do is paint when I move into this house, they will be thrilled. So that is all people would have to do when they moved into this house that I showed you was painting. Truly, that was it. And they knew it. And they felt like the house was in great, fantastic condition because all the maintenance had been done over time. Remember, it's that unpolished potential that I'm talking about. It's in the seller playbook below with that link below. I am telling you, if your home is an unpolished potential, this is a fantastic place for you to be. If you are not at unpolished potential, I want you to listen carefully to this. I want you to understand how you not taking care of your furnace or your air, your landscaping will affect you when you go to sell. I will tell you, I was not always like this. I did not always understand the value of doing home maintenance over time. And my husband, he is truly like amazing because like I think I told you guys before in the last video is that he does all the cooking, he does all the grocery shopping, and literally his day revolves around supporting me and supporting our house and our home maintenance issues. And every day he is doing something in this house. Every day I turn around, somebody's here. Yesterday it was pest control. Last week it was the air conditioner being serviced, our pool people. I mean, every time I turn around, he is outside blowing the driveway off with his power blower. I mean, he loves it, but he's also great at this. And he goes around the house and he really looks to see what is important and what needs to be done. So I asked him, why does he do all this? Even though I know it, I really wanted to hear it from him. Mike, how often do you blow the driveway?
Once or twice a day.
A day?
A day. If you take care of stuff now and spend a little money, a little bit of time dealing with it now, it saves you from spending a lot of money and a lot of headaches later when something gets out of control and broken.
What is the most important thing for them to take care of at their houses?
Oh, the big ticket items. Make sure you get the furnace and air conditioner check twice a year, because that can get out of control and expensive really fast. Obviously check the plumbing, make sure drains are draining properly, toilets are running properly. So you get those backed up or a clog, and that can be a lot of money to undo that. So it's real simple. You just keep an eye on it.
Like Mike said, there's going to be more repair costs because something bigger is going to happen. It's going to break, especially if you have some type of water intrusion somewhere. It's just going to get worse. Don't forget about those home inspections, because even if you can't see it and you know it, that inspector is going to see it and it can kill your deal, or you're going to have to give a huge credit when you go to sell. And the actual aesthetic impact that it's going to have on your house can be huge. I mean, your neighbors will notice if you're not taking care of your home, the property value will go down. It just isn't a great neighborly thing to have overgrown trees or garbage or things in the front yard just because you're not taking care of it, you're not keeping up with your house. As I always say, ongoing maintenance may not get you more for your house when you go to sell, but deferred maintenance will make your house worth less. Completely and totally true. Don't forget it. And again, if you want to become a profitable homeowner, I have all the answers for you in that link below in my seller's playbook. It's new, it's revised. I'm really excited about it. In addition, you are going to be a part of the new Profitable Homeowners community. This is where you can go and ask me questions about anything, any questions you have. You want to upload your pictures about your home? You can. Go ahead and download the playbook today and you will become a part of the Profitable Homeowners community. Now I'm going to talk about the updates and the renovations that, are the shining penny in the corner. This is what everybody loves to do, but this is where the most risk really comes in. Are you doing the right things? And what is the return that you are going to get on these updates? It was funny because I actually turned to ChatGPT to find out what are the average returns when you do certain updates in your home. And it was really funny because ChatGPT just kind of spouted out a bunch of numbers. And I was like, wow, if you do all these updates, it's saying you're going to make like an additional $250,000 on your home. Well, the real issue is that if your home is only worth $250,000, you're not going to make an additional $250,000 on your home. And that's part of understanding what the market is doing around you. So I want you to be very careful. I want you to be very wary of just going out there and doing research online from companies that are telling you that you should just be updating your kitchen or updating your bathrooms. They don't really know. They don't really understand what is the return that you're going to get. The further out you are from moving, the more I want you to think about it, doing it for yourselves. Is it something that you will enjoy to live there, to love? That's most important if you are many years away. Don't just think about the return. It will help you get your home sold faster. I promise you. You may not get every dollar for dollar, but isn't that okay? If you live with a beautiful kitchen for the next 5 years and maybe it costs you $10,000 because maybe you didn't get the full $50,000 back on it. I really want you to think about enjoying the home for yourselves if you're not ready to move now. And everything I talk about will make you that profitable homeowner. So I have a couple of projects here. I'm going to show you what the return on investment is. Believe it, not believe it, but just understand that these are just what is out there online. I'm going to talk about these at the end as well. And I'm going to talk about which ones really I think are the best ones to do. So the thing I think you'll get the most return on is truly the minor kitchen remodel. Now, this is something, if you're only a couple of years away from moving, I do think it's nice to do a refresh of your kitchen, especially if your cabinets are good and you want to do something to enjoy it for yourself. This means appliances for you. Probably putting in new stainless steel appliances, maybe redoing the flooring, maybe a new backsplash, maybe new countertop, maybe painting the cabinets, which I've talked about in my other video. So this is one thing that I think you're going to get a big return on when you do go to sell. Now, if you're 5 to 10 years out from selling, I would probably recommend redoing your kitchen. Make it cost effective. Don't go overboard. And I want to make sure that you get help from either a decorator or an agent. Now, I say decorator this time because I want you to enjoy it. I want you to love it. I don't want you just to do something that you think is going to sell in the end. An agent can certainly talk to you about what will sell in the end, but if you're doing this to live for yourself, get somebody in there who understands you and makes it what you love. Hey, do you need an agent in your community? I have got the answer for you. Go ahead and click below and I will find you an agent who focuses in your community, who is experienced, who you can ask questions, ongoing questions to, text them, emailing, build a rapport. What is the market doing in your neighborhood? Go ahead and click on the link below and let me help you find an agent. Bathroom models are always really important too, because if you have a bathroom that's really old, a buyer is going to walk in and say, I just can't even live here. It's not even doable just to live in the house with this bathroom. So that's why you probably want to redo your bathrooms. You don't need to do them super expensive. Now, my seller, when they redid their bathroom, they did bring me in to talk about how do they need to do it. And I said, you really do have to have 2 sinks in your bathroom. That was probably more of a requirement for buyers looking at this price point for a home in this neighborhood. And so they understood that, they took it to heart, and then they went to the designer and they got it designed sort of based around that. New roofs are something that, I don't really think they get you the full return. And that's unfortunate because roofs are a reason that a house may or may not sell. So you're really not going to get the return on a roof. You will get your home to sell quicker and faster and maybe for more money, but I can't guarantee it. If your roof is somewhere in the range of 10 years or older, you're probably going to need to replace your roof. And the reason I'm saying that is because of insurance issues right now, because some insurance companies are not insuring roofs that are over 10 years old. So you want to make sure you check in with your agent or your insurance carrier about will they insure a roof that's 10 years old, even if it's in good condition. If you're telling me your roof isn't leaking, it's in good condition, I don't want to hear it, because you can't use that argument when you're talking to the insurance company. So unfortunately, a roof replacement is really probably not going to get you the return when you go to sell, but it is going to help you sell. And it's going to help you sell fast and maximize the dollar that you're going to get out and make you a profitable homeowner. Let's talk doors. New garage door. I love new garage doors, but they do not always get the value back out either. Front doors, love new front doors. Those don't always get the value out either. But both of these things you really should be looking at if you're living in your home for the course of your home. Do you love the way the doors look? This is the first thing that people see. And when you upgrade the garage door and the front door, it does make a huge difference for people. Now, these are very expensive items. And when people come to me and they're ready to sell their house and they say, should I replace my garage door? Should I replace my front door? No, it's too late. You really need to be doing this over the course of time. Landscaping. Oh, so expensive landscaping. And I'll tell you, when you go and hire a landscape designer, it is incredibly expensive. I know we spend so much money on our landscaping. One day I literally came home and I said to my husband, I am ripping everything out in the front yard. I hated it that much. And we lived for like 4 months with literally no landscaping because I knew that I was just going to keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off if I didn't have it completely empty. I mean, it was bare, completely bare. And we did. We spent quite a bit of money on our landscaping. However, when we did go to sell, our landscaping was gorgeous. And that is one of the reasons that we maximized the price in our neighborhood. We sold higher in our neighborhood than anybody had ever sold there before. And the landscaping is one reason. Now, if I go and tell you how much we spend and say, did you get that out? Absolutely not. But it made us maximize the dollar amount and we sold faster. And don't forget, I got to enjoy the landscaping for a few years. Remember, a lot of this is about your enjoyment and living in your home and loving where you live. New windows are the worst because the windows are so incredibly expensive. When we moved into our last home, we had to replace all of the windows and we had to replace the sliders. I am telling you, when a buyer moves into a house and the first project they have to do out of the gate is new windows, they will walk away. They will not stay in that house. They will not purchase the house because they don't want to put in $40, $50, $60, $70,000 on windows, especially if you have to do those sliders. So windows are a priority for you to do over time. So again, if you invite me to your house right before you're selling and saying, should we replace all of our windows right now? I'm going to say no. You need to do it over time. The last couple things are adding a deck or finishing a basement or putting in smart technology. These are not things that are going to increase the value. Now, if your deck is falling down, you really do need to repair it. But I don't like any type of cement work. I don't like any type of deck work right before you move. However, over the course of time, if you are more than 5 years out and you think, we're going to need a new deck, put it in for yourselves. Budget it over the course of time. Also, smart home technology. Now, some people think you're going to get this out when you go to sell. You're not. This is because you enjoy it. This is not because a buyer says, I'm going to pay more for that house because it has smart technology. Now, a couple people may, but really all this is going to do is it's going to get your house sold faster. In addition, you will maximize maximize the dollar return. I want you to keep in mind that if you are 5 to 10 years out from selling, the market fluctuation is going to make a huge difference when you go to sell. That's why you mentally need to be thinking about just doing this work over time and saying, you know what, if I get out the money that I put in, great. If I don't, that's okay too, because you've lived there and you've enjoyed it. Keep in mind that market fluctuation up or down is going to change how much you can get out of your house over time. Now, I've got the best updates for you to do if you're thinking, all right, we're only 3 years out, maybe we're 2 years, maybe we're 1 year out. What are the best returns that you're going to get for your buck right now? Number one, as I always say, which everybody knows, paint, paint, paint. I love paint. Paint is always great in a house. It's the cheapest and changes the whole dynamic, the whole energy of the house. I love paint. I do have that paint video if you want to watch it to talk about what colors if you're thinking about moving in the next few years. Now, this includes painting cabinets and all the hate. I know you guys are going to give me all this hate about how you hate painted wood. Yes, I've heard it, but sometimes painting cabinets will work, especially if your kitchen is really old and it is, kind of in good condition. You really maybe want to think maybe you want to paint your cabinets. Love updating lighting fixtures. This is easy, simple, and it can be really cost effective. You do not have to get the highest quality. You just need to make it look a little bit trendy. Maybe Home Depot, maybe Lowe's, maybe Wayfair, one of these places. You can find something kind of simple and it just changes the whole dynamics of the room. I love this one too. Hardware updates will make a huge difference, especially if you've painted your cabinets. You want to pick some type of hardware that is a little more updated and a little more trendy. But this is a really easy, cost-effective thing that you're going to be like, wow, we should have done this a long time ago. One thing I really love in homes is new doors. And this is the new doors internally that are solid core. If you've never lived with solid core doors in your home, it just makes a huge difference. They just feel different. They feel stronger. The sound is different in the house. Now, this can be kind of expensive, but I will tell you, this is one of those luxury upgrades that buyers do notice when they come into a home. And finally, something kind of simple and easy that isn't super expensive, updated storage solutions. So maybe in a laundry room or maybe creating something in your garage. This can help give buyers the sense of, oh, they do have more space when maybe you don't really have a lot of space. You kind of are going to fake it with this one as well, but I do love this simple upgrade too. All of these things I've talked about today are going to take you some planning. They're going to take you some question answering, some gathering of information. And I want to invite you to our Profitable Homeowners community. Our Profitable Homeowners community is what you will get access to when you download our free seller playbook. The seller's playbook is going to go over everything that I have in here. It's new and revised. If you've downloaded before, this is new. And it's going to give you access to me and my team to be able to ask us questions. If you have a question about a cabinet, if you have a question about flooring, you're going to be able to upload it into that community and I will give you my feedback personally one-on-one so that you know, should you replace it? Maybe you should spend more money on something else. But I have saved people tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars by being able to talk to me about these things. So make sure you download the Seller's Playbook today and become part of the Profitable Homeowners community.